Hi Greedy 3Ds, today we've got another laser engraver which has been sent to me to test for you guys. This is the Atomstack A20 Pro V2. It's a 24 watt laser. They've sent me the air assist as well to have a little play with. Now, as you guys know, I don't know much about laser engraving. I'm a newbie. I know virtually nothing about this. So if I can build this, if I can get this working, then I'm sure you can. Stay tuned and I'll tell you what I think about it. I'll start by saying in true transparency that Atomstack have sent me this laser engraver free of charge. No money has changed hands. They've just want me to do a review, but they've made it absolutely clear I can say anything that I want in the video and I will give you my honest opinion. Just because it's been sent to me doesn't mean that I will blow smoke from its bottom, no pun intended, if it does not require said smoke to be blown. Well, look at the size of this thing first of all. It's got a 400 by 400 millimeters engraving plate size and a 24 watt laser engraver. Have a little look at this video and then we'll do a little bit of unboxing and we'll put the thing together and give it a good old play. Now, to say everything was well packaged is really going to be an understatement. It was absolutely incredibly packaged. It arrived safe, it arrived sound, and everything was well protected in the box. This is everything now out of the box and laid out for all to see. And as you can see, there's not too many components there. So you would think assembly would be easy. Now it's good to see it came with some protective goggles, but it is bad to see that it came with a European plug, which is no good to man nor beast in the UK. I did start the assembly process by reading the instructional manual, but I found that to be a little bit confusing. So a little bit later on I did turn to the video that you are seeing here, and I'll put a link of this in the description. This made the assembly process, once I'd started watching this video, much better. So here we are at first. We've got everything laid out and we're starting with the book. Assembly, I suspect if you watched that video in the first place, it would probably take you about an hour at a push. But for me, putting it together, taking it apart again, putting it together, taking it apart again because I put the wrong bit in the wrong plate, it was a bit of a nightmare. So I did then finally decide there's got to be a better way of doing this. So it is at this point that I started to realise there is a video, and I watched it. And once I watched the video, assembly was swift and smooth. So that's my advice to you at this stage. Watch the assembly video. This is a well-made laser engraver. There's some sturdy construction on this beast, and all the screws went in as expected into the screw holes. Nothing was cross-threaded. Everything lined up perfectly. There was no belts to install. All those were pre-positioned, so no difficult installation or tightening. The working area is 400 by 400 millimeters with a 24 watt laser, which can with a single pass cut up to 12 millimeters of wood or 10 millimeters black acrylic. That's in one pass. Absolutely amazing, with a maximum speed of 30,000 millimeters a minute. The connection, as you saw there, was via USB, and it also can incorporate Wi-Fi and connect to your phone. I found it very quiet to use in operation, and it cuts a whole host of materials. Here is the list that it cuts, including wood, cardboard, plastic, leather. The list just goes on and on. Now, it doesn't come with a screen of its own, but that really isn't a hindrance, as most people that use these engravers will connect a laptop or a device directly to it. And don't forget, you've also got the option of Wi-Fi. So the lack of a screen for me wasn't really a deal breaker at all. To control the machine, I'm using quite an old Surface laptop by Microsoft. Connecting it was easy. You've got two options of USB, the normal USB and USB-C, and you literally plug it into the engraver and you're done. It's ready to go. It connects. You can use either Laser GBRL to download, which is free, or you can use the much more popular Lightburn. Now, just remember, with Lightburn, there is a free trial of about 31 days, but after that you do have to pay. And if you want to buy that in the UK, you will find it'll cost you around about £58. All the setup process for both of these pieces of software is in the manual and easy to follow. Now, if you've got the air assist unit, that too is a doddle to plug in and connect. No separate power supply needed. You literally just plug in the black tubing into the air assist and the power supply goes directly into that. And as I say, it will be powered from the engraver itself. So you literally just plug that into the engraver, connect the other bar into the laser end, and you're done. You don't have to take anything apart like in some other printers. It's all automatic and works automatically too. Now, it's very often the case there is a little external piece of equipment required to position the laser at the right height, and it's this little piece of metal here. You lift the laser, you slide it underneath, you let the laser sit upon it, and you tighten up the two bolts, and your focus length is set. It's simple, it's easy. I really like the way this laser engraver allows you to set the focal length. So I'd always recommend doing a test first before you do your print, and I'm going to use Lightburn's very own test, and it will just go onto the wood, then print a different set of speeds and powers and work those powers across the test, and this will give me an indication of what power I need to use to cut through this wood, which is 3mm ply, and what power I need to engrave it. Once I've done that, it will cut the whole thing out, and it has done the process marvellously. Now, don't forget, when you're doing this, there will be quite a lot of smoke. If you haven't got an enclosure, which I haven't, don't do this in your house. Do this somewhere where there's plenty of ventilation, and make sure you're wearing some PPE as in the form of your mask and also your goggles all the time you're engraving. And that now has shown me the strength that I need to use and the power and the speed to get cutting through this wood. So now I'm sure I know what I'm doing. I'm going to frame my model first. This allows you to frame exactly where it's going to do the engraving, which is a great feature of these laser engravers. And once I've done that, I'm going to set it to engrave my greedy 3D logo. I'm using 45% power and 1 pass, which I got from that last test. So this is another kind of test really for the engraver. I'm going to speed it up a little bit so you haven't got to watch it go all the way through. And once I've done all that, I'm going to be using it to cut out my logo. For that, I'm going to be using a little bit of a different power. I'm going to be using 80% 10mm a second with a pass of twice. And don't forget, you need to do a test on each material that you use, because each material will have different properties, so you know which power, timing and strength you're going to use. And there we go, that's going to be all cut out now, so I'm confident that's gone right the way through the logo. So that's two different things it's done. It's engraved and it's also cut through this 3mm ply. And now the engraving's complete. Let's have a quick look at it. I'm chuffed with that, to be honest. I'm really pleased with that. I might fiddle with the power settings a little bit, but that's the joy of having one of these laser engravers. You can play until you get it perfect. I may just sand it over a tiny bit to get rid of some of the blemishes, but look at that. Greedy 3D logo, all done and dusted. And here it is after a light sand, just ready for a little bit of varnish, and that logo on my coaster, if you will, is all done and has come out wonderfully. Really, really simple and easy to make. Now, the cost of this laser engraver, you're looking at £442. That was on the 27th of March 2024. And if you want to add on to that the air assist, you're looking at another £89. Now, there are cheaper alternatives out there, but you do get what you pay for, and the quality of this machine is, well, I can't fault it. It's wonderful. It's a lovely, lovely machine, and I'm not just saying that because they've sent it to me. I'm saying that because I've had an absolute pleasure in playing with this, testing this, and using this machine. Was there anything that I didn't like about it? Okay, the assembly was a little bit fiddly when I was following the instruction manual, but as soon as I switched to the video, which I should have done in the first place, assembly was fantastic. The quality and materials were excellent. I had absolutely no problems with the materials and connecting them all together. It's worked and it has performed flawlessly, and I'm really, really pleased with the outcome and the achievements that I've made with it and the engravings I've made with it. Now, I know I've had a very limited play with it, and I haven't used a load of materials or done a load of things with it, which I will be doing moving forward. So all I can say from a recommendation perspective is, if you're in the market for a laser engraver, your budget will be one factor, your strength of the laser will be another. If you want a 24 watt laser with a 400 by 400 build volume with a good quality manufacturer and a good quality build, then I can recommend this laser engraver, absolutely. But there are other options out there, so do your homework, boys and girls. Have a look at which company you want to spend your wonga on. But if you decide the Atomstack is for you, there'll be a link in the description where you can get it from. Well, I think, like I said at the start, I am definitely absolutely no expert on laser engraving, but I'm a novice, a beginner, and a lot of you guys are going to be that way too, and you're going to be worried about getting it, building it, putting it together, getting it to do its first laser engraving burny bit. So if I can do it, I'm sure you guys can do it too. I hope you found today interesting. As time goes on, I guess I'll know more about these things and learn more about laser engraving, the same as you guys do too. If you've got some tips and comments for me, leave it in the description below. That always helps the YouTube algorithm, of course. If you've got any comments, leave them in the YouTube comments section, the little box that YouTube lets you leave comments. The algorithm for YouTube is a weird and wonderful thing, and anytime you leave a comment or click a like, it helps the video get spread further down and around the world. So please do that. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to the channel. It's free and it's simple to do. If you want to subscribe to the Greedy 3D Patreon, you can do that from as little as nothing to as much as a couple of quid, just to support the channel a little further. If you want to buy one of these, if you want to buy anything that you can see me using, in the description you'll see a link. It'll be an affiliate link, so a little tiny bit will kick back to the channel, but nothing will cost you a penny more. I promise you that. Hope you've enjoyed this today. Hope you found it interesting. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time on Greedy 3D.